Hello everyone, my name is Joshua. This is the 96th video on my video journal series. Today's date is Friday the 15th of May 2026. I'll double confirm that. Yes, it is the 15th of May. How's everyone been? I've been pretty good, thank you. And something I want to discuss with you today is, I guess, the Nintendo eShop. Um, it was a random little thought that came into my head today, but I miss the 3DS eShop. Nothing wrong with the Nintendo Switch eShop, but it doesn't have any like background music when you shop there anymore. I'm just talking about the online digital eShop service. Um, so whenever I like go on my Switch, I go to the eShop app and there's no background music. All you can hear is just like the scrolling sound effect. I remember with the 3DS eShop, because I have a 3DS. Whenever I used to browse a 3DS eShop, there used to be like a different theme that played, depending on what I guess time of the year it was. Um, and yeah, like even around Christmas time, they have like Christmassy songs playing in the background, and I just love the 3DS eShop, because it had a lot more like life in it. And like obviously it's been a while since I've been on the 3DS eShop because it's closed now. Well, uh, to make new purchases at least, if you downloaded a game on your 3DS through the eShop, and you deleted it, I'm pretty sure you can still re-download it um, on the eShop. And the eShop app hasn't like completely shut down on the 3DS. You can still like log in and see all the titles. It's just that you can't purchase them anymore. And like I'm pretty sure you can like still re-download stuff. But like I'm pretty sure yeah, you can still go on the eShop app and it'll still play the last music does assign to the Nintendo 3DS eShop. I'm pretty sure, at least last time I checked as of recording this. But sometimes I like to go on the 3DS eShop. Obviously, I can't buy anything, but like I just like hearing that music. Just gives me that nostalgia of as a kid, just checking what like new 3DS, what new 3DS titles have been released, and um, like I'll say the 3DS was a very good video game console. Like in some ways, I prefer the 3DS over the Switch because, it's like a clamshell design, which I really like, and it's a lot more portable. It's a lot more smaller. Um, and like I've downloaded a few games off the 3DS eShop before it closed. I bought a few games. I regret not buying SMT4, Shin Megami Tensei 4 on the Nintendo 3DS eShop before it closed. That was like one of my biggest regrets. The original SMT4, that is, because SMT4 did not release in Power Territories, but SMT4 Apocalypse did, um, which I don't know why they only released a sequel and not the original game, but they released the original game in Power Territories on the eShop only. So yeah, I regret not doing that, downloading that game or paying for it. Sorry, and I'm pretty sure that shut down like 2023, if memory serves me right. 2023 is when they shut down the 3DS eShop, and then obviously you got the Nintendo Switch eShop, which I think it's still got a few years left. I'm just talking about the original Nintendo Switch, because obviously the Switch 2 is Nintendo's new console. I'm just talking about the OG Switch. The OG Switch, look, the eShop is serviceable. I really, really miss their gold coin system. Whenever you bought like a new game for the Switch, you get to like redeem gold points from your purchase. So if you bought like a $60 game, you'll get like 60 gold points, and you can use those gold points towards buying games on the eShop, which I thought was a very good idea. Because whenever I bought like a physical game, you get like these mini gold points. Or if you bought like a digital title, you'll get gold points, but you get like a lot more gold points per dollar, and you can use that like gold points towards the My Nintendo points store or something. Um, and you can actually redeem it for like real world prizes and merchandise and all of that. Um, I'm pretty sure you can like. Can you still do that now? Because they discontinued. I know they discontinued the gold points program on the Switch to like redeem or purchase like new games, which I just think is like ridiculous. They discontinued that scheme because I thought it was, hey, like you buy a game, you get like a slight little you know uh, I guess like slight little cashback or whatever, like points in the form of points. And if you buy enough Switch games, you can use some of those points to save on your next purchase, which I thought was a very good idea, like a sort of like loyalty rewards program. But obviously, Nintendo discontinued that, so it doesn't matter if you buy a new Switch game or buy um, game off the Switch eShop, you can't use those points for like new games, if you know what I mean, or like DLC or anything like that. I'm pretty sure they still have like silver and gold points that you can use on the My Nintendo store, if I'm correct. Like their like loyalty rewards website. But I don't know how you get the gold points anymore. Do you have to like do in-game missions, or can you purchase them? I don't think you can purchase them, but like, do you redeem them? No, I don't think you can even redeem them from software anymore. So yeah, how do you get gold points? Maybe I don't know. It's been a while since I've like kept up with it, but I do know I knew that Nintendo did have like a scheme in place where if you bought new games, you get like a slight discount that you can use towards other games on your next purchase. Which I don't know why they discontinued that, because I remember buying a Switch game last year, and I tried to redeem the points, but it says, oh yeah, points are not currently redeemable for the software. So I had to like look it up, and then I realized, oh yeah, Nintendo discontinued it. Uh, but anyway, back to the eShop. The Switch eShop, yeah, like I said, it just does the job. Like I really love it if they just add like even just some of the Wii U and 3DS eShop themes into the Switch eShop. Like you already got the music composed. Assuming Nintendo have the rights to the music that they used, that they composed and made. Why not just put the music that was on the 3DS and Wii U eShop onto the Switch one? So when you're like scrolling for titles, you just hear like music playing in the background. Same thing with the Wii. The Wii had the iconic uh, shop theme, and that's what like people associate with the Wii eShop, like, and just the Wii in general. Same with the 3DS and Wii U. They just remember, when they were scrolling on the eShop, just hearing that theme, and it got you in a good mood. It's like going to the shops, right? And you hear like your favorite song playing in the background. You want to stay in that shop, right? Because you want to hear the song, and the longer you stay in that shop, the more you're gonna like, I guess, uh, increased likelihood that you're gonna purchase something. Same thing with the eShop. If you have like catchy music playing in the background while you scroll, you're more inclined to buy something. It is, I don't think it will be that hard, but I don't know why Nintendo didn't implement like an eShop theme in the Switch. I don't know if they did it for the Switch 2. I think, the Switch 2's eShop is pretty much identical to the original Nintendo Switch. But, I like to just see Nintendo add an update. Like, it was just like a small little feature that I loved. And I remember, on the 3DS eShop, that when like your game was downloading, they give you like this mini like animation that played of like these mini like bubbles being like dropped into this like present. If you've seen the animation, you know what I mean. You could just most likely search it up onto YouTube. Like 3DS eShop download animation. Just those small little details which I really, really miss. And the 3DS had like an eShop mascot. It was quite simplistic, but still, it was just the small little things. And uh, on the on the Switch eShop, can you still submit reviews? Because I remember on the 3DS eShop you could submit reviews, and I'm pretty sure you could still submit reviews for the 3DS eShop. Um, I remember like the 3DS eShop. You had like a wish list, obviously same with the Switch, but uh, you know, man, it just brings me back so many memories. Like there was wish list, favorites list. You get to submit reviews. Um, you know, I remember pre-ordering a digital copy of Pokemon Crystal for the 3DS. Don't ask me why pre-ordering digital games is like, why does that exist? It's not like copies are gonna run out because it's online or anything. But I remember as a kid, hearing when Pokemon Crystal. Sorry, did I say Pokemon Crystal? Yeah. Pokemon Crystal. When that came to the 3DS eShop, I remember like pre like doing a digital pre-order, so I paid money for it, and as soon as that game released on the eShop, like the exact minute it released on the eShop, I automatically got downloaded onto my system. Now I guess that's like for convenience, but unless you're giving like the player like a 24-hour advantage ahead of everyone else, like pre-order this, like do a digital pre-order and get early access to this game sort of thing. Well, Pokemon Crystal was just like, yeah, you can pay money up front and you still get a copy of the game, which I don't know why digital pre-orders are a thing when, you know, obviously they won't run out because it's a digital file, it's a digital copy, but like, unless you're just giving a player like, an advantage or like early access or whatever, then what's the point? But anyway, I was still going to play Pokemon Crystal on the 3DS. So I remember doing that, and I used to remember like, obviously buying games off the 3DS eShop, but I think that was the only like thing I quote unquote pre-ordered. Not really a pre-order, it's more like I just put my money in advance and I still got the game sort of thing. And I used to remember like the news tab, they alert you of like new eShop releases on the 3DS home menu. Um, yeah, just a lot of fun memories with the 3DS eShop. I was too young to experience the Nintendo DS eShop, just the original DS one. I had a DSi XL. Um, I was gifted a DSi XL from my grandfather. Yes, my grandfather gave me my first ever Nintendo console, and that was in 2012. The Nintendo original DS store shut down in 2017, I believe. But as a kid, you know, my dad didn't spend any money on video games. He got us one of those like flash carts, and he sold the high seas essentially to get us our video games. Uh, for those who don't know, the DS had like this mini flash cart where it was like, uh, a cartridge, the size of a regular DS cartridge, but had like a micro SD card slot where you can put a bunch of let's call them unauthorized um, not unauthorized, sorry, but you can put a bunch of games on there sourced by mysterious means. By that I mean sailing the high seas, and yeah, I used to remember playing a lot of games and that multi-cart. And to be fair, that was like pretty convenient. Why have all these multiple DS cartridges when you just have one cart with like a bunch of games that your dad selects for you, and he ends up like putting the Japanese version of Pokemon Pearl on there? I don't know how he got that, but like I remember as a kid really like Pokemon. That was like the only Pokemon game I had on my cart, but it was all in Japanese, Pokemon Pearl. And I think I managed to get up to like the second gym, and I'm pretty sure the reason why was because I searched up like a guide on how to like play the game. It was just like some person recording their DS using like their phone or whatever. I don't remember the exact video series of who uploaded it, but I remember like following their tutorials or videos and like just like replicating what they did. And I managed to get up to the second gym before I just, I think I uh, made a few wrong turns in the game, and I was like, yeah, I don't understand Japanese. I don't know what's going on. So yeah, um, I think I mentioned that maybe on the channel before. Who knows? But yeah. So oh man, so that's why like yeah, as a kid, obviously my parents didn't, I guess they didn't allow me, but like, obviously if I were to go ask him, say, hey, I want this game, or whatever, like, oh, what's wrong with the games on your DS, like, but I'm like, I want the new games, I want a 3DS. The 3DS is not the same as the DS, Dad, alright? Um, so yeah, obviously I wasn't given any money to, I guess, spend on the DSE shop. So like that's why I guess like DS. So yeah, that's why I didn't get to like I guess, download any games from the original DS eShop onto my system. In fact, it wasn't until oh man, it wasn't until maybe like the late 2010s before I started actually getting like physical video games. I actually think it was like 2017 I got my 3DS and that's when I started like getting physical video games using like my own money. Up until 2017 all I had was my original DS. I had my iPad. And then I had a PS2, which my dad got from like EB Games, and just like a bunch of like, you know, PS2 games like SpongeBob, Battle Bikini Bottom, and Crazy Taxi and all that. But yeah, it was until like late 2010s before I started like purchasing games with my own money. So obviously, I don't remember the original DSE shop. I only remember like the 3DS shop. Um, and I used to remember like getting those like Nintendo like eShop cards from like Big W and all that. Um, you know, and I remember like just paying with like just obviously because all I had is like when I was at that age maybe around 12, 13ish. Obviously I didn't have like a debit credit card or anything, so if I wanted to buy something off the 3DS shop I had to go to Big W um, once a week, and I had to use cash and buy it, that eShop card, and then I had to like you know wait to get home before I redeemed it so then I can buy a game. But now I got like a debit card, so I guess it ruins that sort of magic. Anyone else had that like experience with the eShop? Like 3DS, or like Wii DS or Switch eShop where your parents wouldn't allow you to like use their credit card, so you had to like wait once a week to go to like the department store and buy those like eShop cards. They still sell them nowadays, and they still like sometimes run like 5% off deals, which is like basically free money at that point. Um, and then you got like wait to get home, and then you can like redeem it, and then you get the game, wait for the download animation. That's what I remember. I have very fond memories, and I think in some ways, like um, obviously, the Switch eShop has become a little bit commercialized. It still does the function. It's where you go to buy games, but at the same time, I really miss the old 3DS eShop. That was the one I remember the most. I yet again didn't have. I don't have a Wii, um, Nintendo Wii. I have a DS, but obviously, um, when I was using my DS, I didn't have any money to like I guess download, purchase downloaded copies of the DSE shop, and I guess it was only when I got a 3DS and switched I started buying games off the eShop, and obviously Nintendo had like that, like I mentioned that like um, gold point scheme where if you bought a new software or video game, you get to like earn gold points which you can use towards your next purchase, get a slight discount. They discontinued that. I don't know why. Such a great system. Please bring it back, Nintendo. And yeah, I'd like to hear your opinions and I guess memories of the eShop, because nowadays I don't really go on my Switch and 3DS much. I pretty much just go on Steam, and I have I guess similar experiences with Steam. I remember like my parents, especially my dad, he wouldn't allow me if I wanted to buy a game. Mind you, this was between 2019 and 2021, the period in my life where I had Steam but no like debit or credit card. It was in 2021 when I got my debit card. So if I wanted to get a game off Steam, um, my dad obviously he wouldn't allow me to like use his credit card or anything. Instead, we had to do it through I think PayPal, or I had to buy one of those like Steam gift cards. I do remember purchasing those Steam gift cards, and so yeah, it'll be either one or two ways. I remember it was to get one of those Steam gift cards if I wanted to get a game off Steam, um, so that I can play on my laptop, or it will be like doing it through PayPal, and then I had to like say to my parents, "Hey, can I buy a game off Steam?" Oh, I still remember that. Like when you had to like ask your parents, "Hey, mom or dad, can I grab your PayPal or credit card? I'll give you the cash in person. I just want to buy a game off Steam or whatever. You gotta like thoroughly explain to them what Steam is and it's not like a scam or anything. Those were the days. But now it's all changed, you know. Now I have the. I'll never forget that moment of freedom when I got my debit card and I was just like, this is the greatest moment of my life. I can actually spend money that I earned. Because when I got my debit cards when I first started working, you know, they just happened at the exact same time. So I was like, oh man, I got freedom. But now it's just like, you know, me scrolling on Steam at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, yeah, I'll just buy this game. You know, who knows? Maybe I'll play it. But, you know, some of that like, magic has been lost, you know? Obviously, it's a lot more convenient that I can, like, not tell my parents every time I want to buy a game off Steam. But, like, you know, I guess, sort of miss it, you know? Just like, you know, when your parents took like interest in what you were doing, like, oh, what game do you want to buy, son? Do you want to buy Persona 4 Golden or something? I remember I had to like ask my mum, um, you know, I think like to buy Persona 4 Golden when it came out on Steam in 2020. Oh, Josh, my mum does not sound like that. Oh, Josh, why not go ahead, you know? So I can't do like my old lady voice right now. It's just, I guess, that time of night. But, you know, it comes to me naturally. Yeah, and I guess someone really capped this video off. Look, I really just miss, I guess, the Nintendo eShop. And, like, I guess, you know, obviously things change over time, you know. And I guess now, you know, considering now, actually, that digital games are, like, pretty much like the way of the future, quote unquote. The fact that I guess digital sales of games are rising, rising, rising. Why don't they improve the eShop experience? And same thing goes with PlayStation and their store, Microsoft and their store. I don't think they have like shopping music in the background, do they? You know, like obviously a lot more people use Steam nowadays as well. Obviously, Steam doesn't have like background shopping noise because obviously it's on a computer, right? If you want your own background shopping noise, you just go on YouTube and play a song. I don't expect Steam to have that. In fact, Steam is already like very good as is, you know. So, you know, obviously, but with like Nintendo, I don't know why. Maybe it's the fact that they had shopping music in the background, then they removed it, and that just seems a little bit weird. Um, you know, but I honestly wish Nintendo brought it back. And you know, I always have fun memories as a kid, you know, um, getting those eShop cards from like, you know, Big W Kmart or whatever, and just like being like on the car ride back home, you know, just going like, oh man, what am I going to buy off the eShop, you know? Um, and like as a kid, you know, like you rarely get new games. You might just get one or two new games a year. So you really had to like I guess make it worth it. And yeah, again as an adult, you know, um, I remember. Oh man, like I remember, you know, obviously, I think I might have used like a debit card to purchase an eShop game on the 3DS once, maybe once or twice in my life, because I would have maybe done it in like 2022, maybe the year before it like shut down. But I remember just thinking to myself, like, you know, like all those times I had to like ask my dad, you know, can I use these credit cards so that I can purchase something on the 3DS? He said, no, Josh, you must. If it doesn't accept PayPal, I'm not willing to do it, sort of thing. um, so yeah, like oh man, just a bunch of memories. And to be fair, I haven't touched my 3DS library in a while. I remember, I know I'm going on, but it's a Friday. Who cares? I remember in 2022, you know, just collecting a bunch of 3DS games that I wanted to play in the future. Some of them I haven't touched in like years, and I like barely started them. But I knew that the 3DS was going to be like discontinued, and I wanted to get like a hold of all the games that I might be interested in playing, including Persona Q1 and Q2, the Yokai Watch games, and all of that. And I made pretty good progress. The only game I wish I got maybe like 4 years ago was maybe like Dead or Alive on the 3DS. Um, I really want to play that, but I didn't get a copy. It's not ridiculously expensive, but like, you know, I wish I would have gotten it when I got the chance. And maybe like Majora's Mask as well. Majora's Mask on 3DS is like slowly creeping up in price, and who knows, when I end the series, it might be like a gazillion dollars. Who knows? But um, I wish I got that game 4 years ago, and yeah, so like I already said, like Dead or Alive on the 3DS, uh, Majora's Mask on the 3DS. What is another like 3DS game I wish I would have gotten 4 years ago? Those are the only two ones that come into my mind, but I'm constantly learning about like new titles and all that. I'm like, man, I should have gotten that. But I'm glad I have the games um, that I at least really want to play on my 3DS. So maybe, yeah, maybe when I got some more free time, I'll hit up my 3DS again. Yeah, and I guess like give you a little wise quote today. What is my little wise? What is my sorry little wise quote today? What is my little quote of wisdom? It will be what could it be a quote? Sorry, I didn't really plan this out in advance, but I guess it'll be immerse yourself in music. I try to tie it back to what I just said previously, but obviously, I think music can really help us out in our everyday lives. Everyone's got their own personal taste in music, and I'm not like a music fanatic or anything, but I do like listening to music. And I'll say immerse yourself in music. If you go for a walk, just um, put some music on. Find what music taste personally appeals to you, and music can help us, through the rough and through the highs and all that. It can really, I guess, sort of help with our emotions. And obviously, you listen to sad songs when you're sad. You listen to happy songs maybe when you're sad, but also when you're happy. Um, I really respect music artists and musicians and people who dedicate their life towards making quality and good music. You know, like obviously I don't want to be like you know solely focused on one genre like jazz or classical. And yeah, obviously I guess every like fandom or every like I guess things such as movies, video games, they're always going to have like those people who are like, oh, I like classical music and only classical music. Those people who I guess like really, really invest into like one genre. And um, like obviously there's nothing wrong with liking classical jazz music, but I'll be, I guess, more open about it, branch into other genres of music as well. Um, like um, I like listening to some jazz music. Why I call myself a jazz connoisseur? Hell no, I know nothing about jazz, but I like listening to some jazz music. I like listening to some pop music, rock, just whatever sounds good, I just like listening to. I don't care if it's popular or niche or subculture or whatever. Whatever sounds good, I'll listen to. And I guess, that'll be my ultimate message. If something sounds good, just listen to it. Obviously, I'm talking about songs. I'm not just talking about in general, but listen to what you I guess listen to um, what songs you personally enjoy, and I guess don't let others, I guess, ruin that enjoyment. And always experiment with new genres. And yeah, music is a very powerful tool. I can make a whole another video about music, but obviously it's getting a little bit late, and I need to get this video out on time. So yeah, yeah, music is good. I like music. Kenny G is an absolute G. I guess I'll catch you all later. See you all next time, and I'll catch you all tomorrow. Can't believe we're already 96 in. Wow. So 97, 98, 99, 100. Man, we're very close to 100 now, and honestly, I gotta think of something to do for the 100th video, but hopefully it'll come into my mind sooner or later. But anyway, I'll catch you all later. See you all tomorrow, and have a great one. Bye. See ya.